Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlan, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Mark Leibovit, editor and publisher of the Leibovit VR newsletters, also known as VRTrader.com. He was the #1 U.S. stock market timer and the January 2020 edition of Timer Digest. He's speaking to us from Arizona. Welcome back to the show, Mark.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate the call.
Mark, do you still have that special offer for our listeners?
We do at VRTrader.com. That's VR, Victor Robert, VR Trader, which stands for Volume Reversal, by the way, my technical tool, but VRTrader.com, and you go to the order page, and you get to the promo code section of the order forms of any of the newsletters. You insert the promo code 2020 half off. That's 2020 half off. And of course, 2020 is coming to an end here, so it will be not functional after the 31st of December, so take advantage of it when you can.
Mark, with the stock market still, it seems to be overall galloping. If the Dow hit 30,000 this year, what's going to hit next year?
You know, I do a lot of my cyclical work and technical work in January, and at the moment, I don't have a prediction for next year. I was asked by several other periodicals to do that as well, and I'm just going to hold back here a little bit. But, you know, we're definitely getting, as you say, a galloping race here, particularly into the popular names. You know, I'm just looking at some of the screens today, stocks that have just have taken off that had been strong anyway. For example, in the, in the cannabis group, for example, well, I don't know if you would attribute to names only to cannabis, but a stock like Scott's Miracle-Gro was up to new record highs today, approaching actually trading at $200, up 9 points. These have been strong all year, so the money wants to stay. I guess the money managers who are not in them want to stay with these names. Innovative Industrial, which is also a cannabis name, which is $192 a share. They're essentially a REIT for the cannabis industry. Constellation Brands up 3 points today, and of course, you know, they own a big piece of Canopy Growth in Canada. And GW Pharma was up 3 points today to 118. Constellation was at 217. I didn't mention that name. So a lot of the big name numbers that are in the $180 to $200 range are attracting, you know, a lot of buyers here. And if you want to look at the other names that are not cannabis related, you're seeing a lot of the high flyers still showing, some strength up, in the last few days. But, Tesla, I guess, would be the most popular name because they've got the, supposed date coming up, the 21st, for the merger into the S&P 500, which is another form of manipulation. Stock was up 33 points today at 655. So by putting into the S&P, of course, I've noticed this over the years too with the Dow and the S&P. It's strong stocks. They stick into the index, trying to goose the index up a little bit too. So, where were they when the stocks were much lower? It's almost it is a form of manipulation. Well, why? You're not going to put a low price stock. Let's put up a name like Ford or something, which is trading at $8 a share, into the Dow Industrials. If it's not already there, they're going to put Tesla in it or a big name in. So it's this planned. I know you use all kinds of terms, manipulation, I suppose. I've written about this for decades, how you play with the indexes to get them to go where you want them to go. But there's no question about it. Markets are strong. Buyers are buying into the seasonal rally, which is a traditional Santa Claus rally. My work was not positive this time of year, even though the seasonals said they could possibly be positive. I saw some potential selling coming into the end of the year. So we've been keeping a low profile, though we do like the gold stocks, which look like they've bottomed. That big shot down about the 760 area was probably an early December low that we were looking for, and they look like they want to work their way higher. And I just mentioned a few cannabis names, but the pickings are slim out there unless you want to go for the ones that are moving 5-10 points a day and are sort of the hot names on the street moment to moment here. I'm going to lay low until after the first, and we'll see how we go on an index recommendation. I certainly do not want to be recommending the Dow Industrials over 30,000, and at some point we are going to get a shakeout, particularly if we see some political juggling going on here in the U.S., which I do believe is coming with regard to Trump and Biden and so forth. So there's some interesting things could happen here almost at any time, and I think, unfortunately, we have too much of the news not being talked about or released, as you probably know, through the conventional media. So you have to do a lot of your hunting and research on your own, but a lot of what's happening out there is not really being talked about, which I shouldn't find too surprising considering what's happened in the last 4 years, but not only related to politics, but in terms of the vaccine and in terms of all kinds of other cool stuff. So I think if you're a trader, we traded a little bit today. We made some money in a couple trades, things that were moving intraday. I don't want to mention those particular names here, but our subscribers know, and we're just sort of keeping a low profile in terms of saying, hey, be in the market, be in the S&P. And I suppose if you want to be in the S&P, just buy some Tesla. Maybe you can make another 30 or 40 points in it between now and December 21st. That's about it.
We'll have more with Mark Leibovit right after this.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications, patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mark Leibovit. Mark, how's the U.S. dollar doing?
Well, it's been weak, and as I mentioned in previous interviews, let me pull up a current chart of the ETF for it so I don't embarrass myself here. Into new lows. In fact, trading today, gapping down, which is certainly helping the gold shares a little bit, and gold, though, the big downtrend that we've been in the dollar here for the last several weeks really hasn't helped gold so much. It's been going down with the gold market, which is sort of interesting. But all I can say, it's a downtrend, real oversold. I'm always suspicious of things that are moving too far in one direction. It looked like it had tried to bottom here about 7 or 8 days ago on a trade, but it didn't do that. So, I guess with the stimulus package coming out of Washington, or at least everybody's hoping for that, that doesn't look good, in terms of the U.S. getting more and more into debt. The other side of the coin is, Fed, Treasury, they print money anyway, and they've been doing it for decades. So, what's the difference? What the heck? It's just another button on the computer, print another $1 trillion and see what that happens. So, business around the world still seems to want to come to the U.S. China's been doing whatever they can to undo the United States, including meddling in our elections. So the money is here, and I suppose if you print some more dollars, there's enough economic activity and innovation and profits that somehow it could offset all these extra dollars that are floating around. So, but even that said, the dollar is weak here, so I guess it's on one level reflecting the fact that we have too many dollars around.
We'll have more with Mark Leibovit right after this.
Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlin, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mark Leibovit. Mark, the Robin Hooders, those millennials and younger who received government relief checks right after the COVID crisis hit and have been trading that money on their cell phones. What's going to happen to them when reality hits and the markets make another major correction?
You know, they're a pretty astute group. I don't want to discount, I know a lot of the millennials through my family and my son and, college kids, and they're pretty savvy in picking some of the winners out there, and for the most part they've done a pretty good job, and of course they got a longer term time horizon than perhaps you and I have, so they could get into a bad position even no matter how high flying the stock is. They'll somehow get bailed out at some point. But I guess the real question is, how did they fare during the February-March decline when we saw the big washout earlier this year? And I think they were stunned a little bit, but I also sense a lot of them were in there buying and ultimately vindicated. It's sort of play money for them. And like I said, they have a long time horizon, and they're convinced in their beliefs that some of these names, most of which have worked out. So unless we're going into some type of outlier event type situation, which is going to really set the world into a depressed state, as we saw back in February, March. We could speculate what that could be, whether it's war or some other external event, geocosmic event, or some other crazy thing. It seems like the trend is your friend, and I'm sort of going back to your initial question. I mean, no matter who's in the White House, we always see stocks go up and down, and money wants to make money, and Wall Street is biased to seeing stocks go up. So my answer to your question is, I think even if we have a shakeout, the probability is there'll be just another trade to the upside again for the overall market, barring some outlier event that I could speculate about but can't obviously predict.
Do you expect any major geocosmic events to happen on the 21st, the first day of winter?
Well, I've been writing about that a little bit. There's this 800-year overlap of the Saturn-Jupiter, the planets, their alignment, so to speak, in the heavens. It was the year 1280 or something, the last time that happened. Just like the moon, the planets have their impact on the Earth, and whether there'll be, some event on that date or just have a nice visual spectacle in the sky, time will tell. But I'm very sensitive to these type of things, that things that we don't really think have any impact could very well have some impact on us. So we'll have to wait and see. But yes, that's the winter solstice, and also that 800-year alignment coming up on the same day should be interesting, if for no other reason, just to stand outside and enjoy it. But there are those that are speculating there could be volcanic activity and, earthquakes and that type of thing, and we'll see if that really pans out. I mean, it makes sense to me. It could happen, but we'll find out.
Mark, can you again maybe remind our listeners about your special offer?
Yeah, sure. It's at vrtrader.com. That's vrtrader.com, and the promo code that you use on our order page for any of our newsletters for any of the time frames is 2020 half off, 2020 half off, and that will get you the discount.
Mark, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Anytime. Thanks for having me, Jim.
My guest has been Mark Leibovit, editor and publisher of the Leibovit VR newsletters, also known as vrtrader.com. If you have any questions for Mark or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com, our YouTube channel, Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter @HowStreet. We're also on Facebook. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.